Hello everybody and welcome to this video on a game of chess that I played last night at the La Palma Chess Club. My name is Mark and La Palma is located in Southern California, a few miles, maybe like a couple miles from Knott's Berry Farm. So without further ado, let's go into the game. I was the black pieces, my opponent was the white pieces, and my opponent starts out with pawn to d4, I go knight f6, and my opponent plays pawn to c4, and I go knight to c6. This opening is called the tango, and I want to point out that I was 20 minutes late to my game. So I was already down on the clock. Time control is 2 hours, so I decided to play a different opening to try to throw my opponent off, try to get some advantage on the time. But my opponent calmly made what I consider to be the best move, which is knight f3, because it prevents e5. Other moves, like this move, would allow e5, and then if he takes, then I have attack, knight in the center, attack on the pawn. If he doesn't take, and let's say he does that, then I bring my knight back, and then if he comes out here, developing piece attack, I just play here, and now I have a Philidor position, and I like the Philidor position. I think it's a good position. It's an opening that I know pretty well. But he didn't do any of that. He played this, and I think it's the best move. And I played this move wanting to come here anyways. And looking back, I don't think that was a good move because my opponent played here. And then if I play up here like this, then he basically just trades down to a middle game, almost an end game here. And I can't castle anymore, and he can come out like this and maybe attack, and if I come here, maybe he can come like this or something. You got stuff like this, and then if he comes there, then what do I do, right? That could be trouble. So anyways, so I may have to just discard this whole d6 move, because I played it before, but I've never played it in a slow tournament like this. I played it in Blitz. And I think from now on, I'm going to play this move and just go into a Nimzo Indian, something like this, get into the Nimzo. So anyways, going back, so he played knight f3, and I played this d6 move here, and I apologize for the delay here. I got my game saved in my phone. Okay, so he plays this move, and I decide to go into a King's Indian. And you're going to see how badly I botched this up. I really botched this opening up really badly, given the move order that he played. So he played here, and I played here, and he played here, and then I castle, and then he goes bishop d3, and then here I made a pretty bad move. I played here, and I normally play this move because I want to push here, but obviously I can't do that, right? And so my knight move was kind of a wasted move. And, one of the mistakes that I personally make when I'm playing chess games in tournaments or whatever is I play these openings, right? I started out playing the tango, and then I transpose into a King's Indian, and then I tell myself, okay, I'm in a King's Indian, so I'm just going to automatically play this move because I always play this move in the King's Indian. But one of the differences is that his bishop's on g5. So by playing this knight move here, I can't push e5, so this knight move is kind of a waste, and it also takes my knight away from the center, so if he wanted to, he could have gone there, which he didn't do, which I was actually kind of thankful for, but he didn't do that. But you're going to see he ended up getting a big advantage and winning lots of material against me right out of the opening, so I was already at a disadvantage, and the truth is I should have lost this game. So let's continue here, and you'll see what happened here. So he castles, and then I come up here because I want to, number one, attack his bishop, but number two, I wanted to push my c-pawn and try to get some activity, try to get my pieces out. So he pushes there, and I go back here, and he sticks his bishop back right where it was. So he's kind of like saying, bleep on you, right? Now, I don't know why he wants his bishop there that bad. I don't see the point. So now I come here with the knight, and that's another thing that pushing my pawn did, is it freed a square for my knight. And so now my knight is basically repositioned in a better spot, and now I can push my c-pawn. So I made like a little tiny improvement, but I'm still not doing well. My bishop on my queen side is not developed. How's my rook going to get out? My queen is kind of stuck down there, and I have no idea how my queen's going to get in the game. So anyways, he plays rook to c1, and I push here so I can get my bishop out, and then he makes a good move. He plays b4, which prevents a lot of pawn pushing and gains space for him on the queen side, so he's doing well. And so I play my bishop here. Now my bishop's kind of sort of, well, maybe so in the game a little bit. And he makes a good move. He centralizes his knight. And so I'm desperate to get some activity, so I make a bad move and I play here. And normally it's a good move, except he has a tactic, or I should say a tactic. Pause the video, see if you can find this move. Okay. Did you find the move? He played here. So already I'm taking heavy material losses. Now I can't do that because it loses to that. So I just say, okay, fine. You can have all the material he takes there, and I move here. His knight's trapped, but now he just comes down there, and I take his knight. He takes my rook. I take there. And this is big what happened in the game. So you can see I'm losing this game, and it's all because I played the bad opening and I wanted to get active and I missed the tactic, and it was all bad in the beginning. So I am losing this game right here, and so I'm not very happy with the way the game's going here. So he plays a good move. He plays here. He wants to trade rooks, and I play back here, and I feel that's the best move I have because number one, he can't come bring his rook on the 7th. Number two, he can't trade my rooks. So I feel it's probably the best move that I have, and so he plays a good move, and he brings his queen to an active square, gets it on the diagonal. Maybe he's going to push pawns or something like that up there. And so I decide to get my rook onto the open file, or I should say the half open file. And so his next move is knight there, and I figure he's going to maybe push like that or something. But his next moves kind of surprised me a little bit, so I decide to bring my knight over there to get my knight closer to the action on his king side. You can see I'm losing. I'm down the exchange plus a pawn here. And I don't know. I think maybe he could have gone there or something. He has lots of choices he could do. But let's see. I'm sorry. I have to apologize for this. Oh, yes. He tries for another tack trick on me. So he comes there, right? And if I don't see it, he's going to take the bishop, and then I'll take back with the pawn, and then he gets that, right? Well, I'm not that stupid. I may play bad in the opening, but I'm not bad at chess. Okay, so anyways, I move my queen out of the way, and now my queen's sort of kind of in the way. And now his next move kind of surprises me. He plays here, and so I'm thinking, okay, what the heck's he trying to do? Is he trying to break through my queen side or something? I figure he's going to double the rooks, or maybe he's guarding there. So I don't really quite understand that move. I personally don't think it's a great move. I think what he should be doing instead is pushing pawns or something. I mean, he can't push this pawn right now because I take the knight, but I think he should be trying to get central attack. I don't even think he should have brought his rooks over there on the queen side in the first play. I think he should have put his rooks there in the center, but he didn't do that. He played this move, and so now I'm starting to get back into the game, kind of, sort of. And I play my knight there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to get a nice little attack over there, right? And so sure enough, he did what I suspected, and he's coming up with a bad plan. I don't know why he's doubled his rooks over here. He's not going to get through there. I mean, what's he going to do? Trade back, rook for bishop or something? So that's a bad plan by him. And so I hop there, and now I got a nice little threat. And so now I'm starting to feel a little encouraged here. And so he plays the knight here, and he guards it. And now I come up with a nice, tricky, clever move that gets me back in the game instantly. And the move is here. Now, if he takes this knight, he's in a lot of trouble because he comes there, I go there, and then I come here and check him, and then I take here. And he is in big trouble right here, and I could even take this guy because I'll show you what I mean. Let's say he just plays some nonsense move. I could take this guy right now. He cannot take back because the queen checked, so he's in a lot of trouble there. So he should not have allowed that, and I think when I look at this game, I think he should have just come back there. See, then it's not quite as big of a deal, but by coming out here, with knight f3, trying to be, macho man or something. And then I come here with the knight, right? And so he didn't do that, right? He came here, and so I took his knight. He's in check. I removed his defender, and the whole point of this bishop move is so he didn't have to take back like that, right? So he took back like this, and now I take here and check him, and he comes here, and now I have a shot. Pause the video, see if you can find this nice little shot. Okay, did you pause the video? If you did, this is what I played, and this is a lovely move. It instantly got me back in the game. Now, first of all, he can't take like that, because if he does, then I get his queen like this, right? And so that's the first idea. And then the second idea is if he takes like that, it is checkmate, game over. So instantly, chess is like that. You play good in the opening, or you play bad in the opening, and then your opponent has an advantage, and then later in the game, all of a sudden the table turns. Chess is like that. So he decides to cough it up, decides to cough up the queen. He had a third choice too, but I don't know how good the third choice was. He could have just went there, but then I would have went there, and I don't think that would have been very good, because this guy's coming there. So I think he probably did the best thing. And surprisingly, I'm really not winning the game. I'm just back in the game, because he has 2 rooks, and I have 1 queen, and then we have the same number of pawns almost. Well, actually, I am up 2 pawns, so maybe I should have won this game. This game ended in a draw. Maybe I should have won this game. I am up 2 pawns, but 2 rooks equals a queen, and he did have 2 rooks. We both had a bishop, and so on. So anyways, this is how the game went. And so I was pretty happy finding all this. And, one of the things that I'm noticing about myself is that my weakest part of my game is my opening. So I really need to do better with my openings, particularly my openings against when I'm the black pieces and I'm playing against pawn to d4, the queen pawn openings. I really need to improve with those particular openings in general. So continuing with the game, I come here, and he comes here, and then I go here, and then he takes, and then I take, hoping for a nice little sucker punch. If he makes this move like a blind man, then I'll come here, check him, and get that guy right. But obviously, he's not going to do that. He might have been playing bad before, but he's not going to do that. And so I come here, and I feel like I'm doing pretty good here. I've got a nice bishop that can't really be taken, but now he makes a good move, and this move right here is the reason why I feel this game turned into a draw. It's right there. Now, after he made that move, I know he's going to bring the rook there and put pressure on there, and if you'll notice, I don't have any pieces to defend this other than my queen, and I don't want to cough up my queen, right? So I'm hoping to get my king out of dodge and get it over there, but he gets down there, and so now I have some trouble here. But I come here and check him, and he comes here, just like that. And now we're reaching some interesting parts in the game. So I look at this position. This position is very hard position for me to win. And, one of the things that I can tell you is that if I can keep his king away from over here, then that would be a good thing on my part. But I don't think I played the best moves here. I'll go over the next few moves here. I check him there. He goes there. And then I check him here. He comes back here. And then I decide to play here. And this looks like a pretty darn good move on my part. But based on what he did, I feel that he made very good decisions here. He took this guy, right? And I was expecting, I was willing to give that up. And I thought, well, now what's he going to do, right? But he just took that guy. Now, going back, I want to show you what would happen. Let's say he didn't do that. Let's say he just, I don't know, came down here. Look what happens, right? He gets in a lot of trouble. He comes there, and then maybe I would come, let's see, I don't know. It's still kind of hard. Maybe I would go there or something. And then he can't block. If he comes here, you can see I get his queen under some pressure here. Maybe I would come here. I don't know. Very, very hard stuff to look through. But that's why I moved the... sorry. let me go back here. That's the whole reason why I moved the bishop there, because it cuts his rook off, and I can get nice moves in on his king. But he made a good move, and he just said, bye bye bishop, and he took my bishop, and then he played back here. Okay, and so now, you know, the only way I can really win this game is I got these two connected passed pawns over here on the king side, and I have to somehow push them up down the road. But he's going to try to do the same thing with this pawn, and so I don't want him to do that, right? But I was not able to keep his king out. He was able to get his king over there. I was hoping to somehow cut off access with his king, like maybe stick the queen there and stuff, and he can't move in. But I wasn't able to do that, and I also have another issue, which is this issue right there, right? If he, I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I make some move right there, and I got that issue, and so now he's got that threat, right? And so I have another issue, and so I was hoping to keep his king out of there and stuff. So I went here, and he went here, and now he has escape squares over there, and I was hoping to keep it, but I couldn't figure it out. I think maybe I could have played there or something, but I was worried about this move, right? And I thought, well, okay, let's say something like this happens, maybe I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess I could have got the pawn. Well, see, that's why I go over my games here in the past. So I don't know. That's still a shady kind of area, shady kind of part of the game for me. I'm going to be kicking myself if that was the game-winning idea here. But anyways, I didn't do that. I went here and he went here, and I was disappointed because I knew his king was going to get over there, and you'll see what happened in the game here later on here. So I'm very disappointed that his king got over here by his pawn. So I checked him, and he went there, and then I push my pawn because I want to get. The only way I can win this game is to push my two pawns over here. The game, I figured the game is probably a draw, but if anybody's going to win the game, it's going to be me. It's not going to be him. And so he comes up here, and I knew that my pawn was a dead man. So pretty sad to see that happen. So I checked him here, and then he went over to the side here. And then, what was my next move? I continued to push my pawns, and now I think here's where he took the pawn. And so I have to move my queen somewhere, and so I check him here, and he comes down here, and you see now his pawn has free road, like free road, almost like VIP escort service by his king. That's why I wanted to keep his king cut out of that area earlier. So I was sad, and I realized that this is going to be a hard game for me to win, and I have to be careful that I don't lose this game in case he, gets his pawn to the queen square, and that would be super bad for me. So, anyways, I go there, he comes here, and I come here, check him, so I'm just checking him. I'm hoping to get some kind of, put a stop to any advances here, and so I come here, and he pushes his pawn, I thought, and, now I come here, check, and he comes here, and now I decide to go up here to prevent him from advancing his pawn, because I'll tell you something, passed pawns are as good as a piece, at least. I've lost many games on these passed pawns, and so I take great care not to let those suckers advance. So he comes here, and now I can move my king here because he can't check me, right, and get on there because the queen's guarding that. And so he moves his king here, which gives me the chance to push the pawn because he's blocking his pawn and stuff. If he would have come up here or something, then, it wouldn't have been so easy. Then he can advance his pawn, right? But let's go back. By coming here, it gives me a chance to push my pawn like that. And so now he moves out of the way, and now once again he can advance his pawn, and I don't want to allow him to advance his pawn. So I check him like that, and he moves his king back over here like that. And so again, he's blocking his pawn, so I push my pawn one more square here. And so he moves his king here. Now he can advance his pawn. I don't want to allow that. But looking back, maybe I could have advanced my own pawn. I'm not sure. It would have been, a pawn race, that's for sure. But anyways, he goes there, and so now he has to come back here, threatening his, because I'm threatening his pawn. So he comes back there and guards. And here I had an interesting decision to make. I thought, well, let's say I come here and he comes there and I go back there. Now my king is coming up, trying to provide some escort service for my two pawns. But the problem is, if now my king is away from here, because my king also could stop him from doing that. So I don't know. It's kind of another shady position for me. So I didn't do that, but I thought, can my queen... That was one of the questions that I have after this game. I thought, can my queen just take his pawn? Let's say he were to do this, and can my queen just take his pawn? And I wouldn't do this right now, but let's say at some safe point I would trade that and then somehow get a queen, and then it would be a king and a queen versus a king, rook, and a bishop. I'll move up real quick, and I'll just make some random moves like this. Could I win this game? And I thought, well, maybe not. Maybe this would be my best case scenario had I gone into that. So I decided not to do that. So instead of doing that, after the queen check, I decided to come here, and he went here, and I checked him like that. I spent all my energy just stopping his pawn from advancing, because like I said, I've lost many games because of stuff like that. And so he went there, and I come back here, preventing any of his pawn advances. So he comes here, and now you're going to see the final parts of the game here. So I check him, and we ended up perpetual check. I believe this is how the game got drawn. I just kept checking him back and forth like this. And so it turned into a perpetual check like that. And so the game was a draw. But one of the questions I have from this draw is, what would happen if I came here? Okay, could I win this game? Because at some point, maybe I could do that. He would take my pawn, and we would trade down. And then let's say I'll just make some random moves here like this. I'm just making random moves like this. Not that move. Let's say I come here. Let's say I take like this. And, I was pretty sure I could get to this endgame. I was pretty certain about that. But would I be able to win the game? A king and a queen versus a king and a rook and a pawn. And I thought, that's too hard. The game had been going on for over 2 hours anyway. I was tired. I was frustrated from how badly I played in the opening. And so I thought, you know what, forget it. I'll just perpetual check him, and we'll just take the draw here. But I could have got to an endgame like that, where it was a king and queen versus a king, rook, and a pawn. But I think that still would have been super hard endgame for me to win. So anyways, that was my game. It was a draw. I played very badly in the opening, and I realized I have to play better in the opening, because in the opening you want to get active pieces, and the whole reason why I made that mistake, I'm going to go back here and show you my mistake. Just moving through the moves very fast. Oh, okay, well, the program is not letting me get there. I guess I got to put the moves in randomly. See if it lets me get there. Yeah, this is what happened in the game here. I just want to go to the mistake that I made right here. Okay, the whole reason why I made this mistake is because my pieces aren't active, and I'm not even looking for tactics. I just want to get out of the opening into the middle game, and so I'm trying to get my pieces active, right? And that's the reason why I made this error. So looking back, I probably should have just moved my queen here. But again, I have a bad position, and the whole reason I got the bad position out of the opening, number one, I'm down on the clock because I was 20 minutes late, and I need to get better in my openings. That's one of the takeaways I get from this game here. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the game, and I plan to continue to put more videos up. I enjoy doing these videos, even if nobody watches this. I think my last video had like all of 6 views, but who knows, maybe someday I'll be a grandmaster and everybody will be watching these videos. So anyways, y'all have a nice day. Over and out.